So this is the second part of my tutorials looking at accessing and looking at primary documents relating to the history of medicine online. And this is focusing on the collections you can access on the Wellcome Library website. So this is what the page for the Wellcome's digital collections site looks like. And as you can see here, they have certain collections, and I'm going to go through one of these first before showing you guys how to look more generally at what the Wellcome have digitized and put online. So one particular strength of the Wellcome collection online records are its records relating to mental health care. So let's click on that. So yeah, and you can see here what they have is they have certain collections relating to specific institutions for treating the mentally unwell and notable figures in kind of the history of mental illness and mental health care. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to click on Gartnavel Royal Hospital, because I know some of you have pensioners who are treated there. So what we'll do is we click on that, and then we go down to browse the full list of papers from Gartnavel Royal Hospital. As you can see here, it's already got online here. So this is stuff that will all be available online, so you don't have to worry about clicking anything. This is stuff that you can see. So as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of stuff. There's over almost 800 records for Gartnavel Asylum. So again, like we do with the Medical Heritage Library, we use the filters to sort of refine our search so we don't get overwhelmed with the amount of information available to us. So one of probably the best way of doing this is creating a date filter. So in this case, I'm going to create a date filter of 1880 to 1920. Click apply, and as you can see there, we now only have around 200 records to look at. So now I'll take you through how you actually look at a record. So as you can see, it's pretty obvious. It says view online. Yes, so obviously there's a disclaimer you need really for when you're doing anything to the history of medicine, which is, you know, sometimes you're dealing with like quite sensitive material that could be upsetting. You know, this is something to kind of keep in mind as well. So yeah, if you feel able to look at this kind of stuff, click accept terms and open. And here we have the Gartnavel Gazette, which was the journal of the Glasgow Royal Asylum, which had patient contributions and so on and so forth. And I'm just going to take you through how to kind of look through it. It's perhaps not as intuitive or as friendly as the archive.org with the Medical Heritage Library. But as you can see, you know, it's still readable. So zooming in and out, wave up here, zooms in, zooms out, full screens are on the bottom right. And then to escape, to get out of full screen, hit your escape button. To turn the pages, you click next page, next page, next page. And 1 second. And if you want to download it, you go to download options and you can download as PDF. So you'll have that here. Yeah, sorry. Let's go back. Yep, so this is a download of it. It looks like it's only downloaded the specific issue. So we've only got 8 pages here. But again, this is something that is useful if you want to look at it on your computer rather than going on the website. Okay, so let's go back. As you can see here, it's sorted. You can sort by date as well. You go back to results. So if you're looking for the earlier one, that's you can go down. We've also got annual reports here. As you can see as well, if you want to skip forward a few pages, you can click down like this. And again, remember zooming in, zooming out, so on. And this tells you a bit more about where it's come from. So this has come from the NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Archives, and it's from, which is basically, and the repositories at the University of Glasgow. Okay, so that's a basic how to look at digital collections on the Wellcome website. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of take you through. We're going to go back to the main site, and we're going to click on here, which is browse everything that has been digitized so far. And what they've done here is actually quite helpful. So you can browse the collections by topic, author, genre. I would kind of ignore that. It's really just to show you. Really, this is stuff where, say, for example, if you're interested in the history of advertisements, for example, you would click on that. But because in this project we're not really interested in a specific kind of source document, I'd say ignore genre. And I'd say your best bet is actually looking at browsing by topic. And this is actually a really exhaustive list. And as you can see, if you're having trouble, for example, with an unfamiliar condition or illness, it's not a bad idea to come here and see if they've listed this in their index. So let's see. You see, we're still on A, so it's very long. So let's just click on something. Let's click on asepsis. Good. And you can see here we have a whole list of digital items relating to asepsis. Unfortunately, unlike the Medical Heritage Library, you can't narrow by language, so you will occasionally get, you know, French and German things. But it's pretty obvious what the English volumes are. Okay, so occasionally what you'll get, which is really, really helpful, is you'll get an item where you can search within you can search within the text for specific terms and words. So this isn't available for everything, obviously, but if you see this little blue search bar, that means you can search. So say if I'm interested in the history of bandages in surgery, I click on bandage, click return, and again, they have this kind of along here where you click on the little yellow thing. So this is quite similar to Medical Heritage Library. And again, you can zoom in and out, and it will have highlighted the word for you. And if you don't want to sort of click along these arrows, which again, I find sometimes a bit fussy and hard to do, you can just click on next result. And again, you have here. So, and sometimes they have contents as well. So you can click on the title page, table of contents. Indexes are always slightly more old-fashioned way of searching for specific terms, but you know, the important thing is when you don't just rely on this. So because it might not have caught everything. So that might not have caught all the instances of bandages that occur in this text. So, you know, we can use the index in the kind of old-fashioned way, just like you would with a normal book, to search for certain things. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to using the Wellcome library. And it's a really strong collection. So much of their stuff is on the Medical Heritage Library. But I would really recommend, if you're really interested in the history of mental health care, there is really, really great stuff here. Especially if you're in Scotland, these two were Scottish mental hospitals as well. So yeah, it's an alternative to using Medical Heritage Library. It's especially useful if you want to look up a very specific condition and you want to see all the texts that deal with that condition, and if you want to look at stuff related to the history of mental health. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. As usual, if you need help, please email me. And yeah, go. I hope everyone has fun exploring the Wellcome.